This is a video of Jumma game developer. New here? So welcome, I'm Jumma and I'm the creator of this YouTube channel. And here you will get videos all about Godot, Game Maker Studio, Unity, Blender, Adobe Illustrator tutorials with explanation especially for beginners. But Godot is the main game engine of this channel. This video is a tutorial video of Godot, a tutorial video about Godot, and old viewers would remember the video about moving an 2D object in Godot. Want to watch that video? Click the link of right side title 2D movement in Godot text. Clicking there will take you to that video about movement in Godot. That's important to know about movement of a game object. But there are two more important things. They are nothing but rotating and sizing an object. And this current video is about how to rotate a 2D object in Godot. Rotating objects is needed when you will need to look around or working with steering, etc. An expert will always avoid this video because they they'll not need to know about rotating object with code because this is very easy. Why a video for that is needed? That's right, but what about for beginners? Beginners can not know about it. So I decided to make a video about how to rotate an object. Don't worry, you'll understand this video because as always this video is for beginners. I explained everything you'll need to understand in here. That's very easy to know. So let's start the tutorial about rotating an object. And now you can see I have a main scene on here. Oh, I haven't saved it. With Ctrl S I can save the scene under scenes folder. I actually saved scenes under scenes folder and scripts under scripts folder. The type of the folder. Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's say if you want to rotate an object, first you will need to you need to change the rotation degrees property of the object that you want to rotate. And let's say you want to rotate a picture. As an example, I'm using Godot's default picture, you can see here, and make sure it is under the scene view. If you are using a camera, so you can put the picture inside of that camera, and you can use any object. Just you need to make sure it has rotation degrees properties. In code, during running the game we are going to change its property to 19 or 118 degrees, any kind of number. Actually you can see if this is 0, so it is alright, but if you increase this number, let's say 1, it will rotate to clockwise a little. It's not a bigger rotation. Let's show you a bigger rotation. If 10, so it rotates clockwise. In 2D remember that there are only one rotation exists, not 3. If this is in 3D, so it would have 3 rotation properties, and that is a little much complex. We will not discuss the 3D thing in this video. This video is all about 2D rotating actually, not 3D rotating. I will upload anytime about 3D rotating later on any videos. Let's just today discuss about 2D rotating. And you can see the more I increase, the more it will rotate to clockwise. The object will rotate clockwise. And what happens if you decrease, like give a -1 or -5? It will then uh, rotate opposite side of the clockwise side. The more bigger number you will give, the more it will move, rotate to the opposite side of clockwise. Like, oh, not -15, it is, you can see, like that. And if you need to be familiar with mathematics, if you are familiar with mathematics, so if you rotate, you give 90 here, it will surely exactly rotate to the right side of here on, you can say, 9 o'clock. And if you directly give +19, so it will rotate to 3 o'clock. And if 0, it is on 12 o'clock. You would know about that if you are familiar with mathematics. I can discuss about mathematics rules in here. You need to know about mathematics of about degrees. I can discuss here about mathematics degrees. You need to know about that, but I can teach you how to rotate an object with input numbers or without of input numbers. Now let's move to the main process. You can see here, if I run this, hey, oh, I have a problem right here. Wait, actually the problem was with my graphics card, but I can't explain all about the problems in here. And I just want to say that I don't have any graphics card actually. I use a software which almost simulates the graphics card datas. Okay, I don't think it don't waste, let's not waste time in that, explaining that. I put it everything again. I moved to another project, created another project exactly as the previous project, only a little less or more bigger numbers in positions. You If you are a old viewer of my channel, so you knew about these position properties on here. If you haven't watched the video about position properties or don't know about position property, you can watch a video about the position property in here. I will have a link in description. If I don't have, you can comment me and tell me about that. Do I have or not have that link in of that video in description. Let's not waste time here. The rotation degree is exactly the same as before. You can see it is clockwise, if not minus, but if minus, it is clockwise. The bigger number you will give, the bigger impact it will have with its rotation. Let's make it 0. Now if you run the scene, you can see it is not rotating anywhere. And if you even press the arrow keys or WSD keys, nothing will happen, because Godot don't know what to do when something is pressed or not pressed, or what to do in when time passes or by frames. we need to tell it to Godot to rotate the object when we press a key or not press a key, and or what everything we need to what actions we need in our game. The way of telling Godot about this is an script. By attaching an script in this object, you can make its default behavior, or your custom behavior by yourself. Attaching to this icon, attaching the script to this icon is same to attaching the script to this icon. uh, you know this is this. I can't explain why this is this, but you know about that, why this is this. Let's just attach a script. You are not a completely beginner, I know, but as you are not a completely beginner, you would know about that this icon is this picture. So that's why I'm not explaining about that. And you can see the path is defaultly in the scene, and I want to change it. I don't want to make a script inside of scenes folder. I want to make a script inside of scripts folder. I have many scripts here. Well, I don't have time to talk about them. Let's just quickly create a script. And I also didn't use the property to make some extra dialogues here. Now, in how to tell Godot about we want to rotate an object, the way to tell Godot to set an object's rotation is by writing rotation degrees. I think GRWS, yes, rotation degrees equal to anything like 15, not semicolon. Oh, I'm using Unity too much these days. I sometimes put semicolons like Unity in Godot. This semicolon would not need in Godot, but need in the Unity, as it that have a C# script programming language, and C# script programming language requires a semicolon after here. If you put that semicolon in Godot too, no problem. But if you it's too much hard to put semicolon after every lines, so I'm not putting semicolons here. That tells that a line ends. I forgot to save this thing. Let's save this. Everywhere you attach the script, it will work. Just put in this thing in ready function, and this doesn't matter. It matters actually, because it is a sprite node, and to extend this sprite node, you write it, or the Godot automatically created the sprite full extend sprite thing in here. But if it would be another class, so it would write this class after this extends name. You don't need to think about this. Godot always create this automatically for you. And the number on you will here put on here in the runtime at the in the runtime at the first time this thing will created in our game. It will set its rotation degrees to this 15 because of this equals number. And if it does it would not existed, it will show an error, because Godot will not know if you don't put this thing in here. Godot will not know that which thing he should uh, make number 15. We want to say that he need to make 15 number our rotation degrees, and with writing this, Godot will know about this, that he will need to put 15 to rotation degrees. So when I play this scene by clicking those icons, you can see it rotated a little bit. It actually changed the when it actually changed the rotation by the script when the game object is created, the icon object is created. It means this icon is created because of this line of code. These are called codes. You can say it's part of programming language. And if there is something I want to tell about, that is process, you'll understand that later. I don't worry, I will explain it later, but not now. Let's just say about what is this. What will happen when you put something inside of this ready, I mean downside of this ready. When you will put something downside of this ready, the things you will write this downside will be applied when the game object is created. It means whenever it is created one time, it will create this thing only for one time. It will apply for one time. And what I need to say about now is wait. Rotating, and okay, if you want to rotate this over time, you can use another function called process in Godot. And the way to write this is func. This is to a function, so you need to put that right there. And after that, process delta. Always remember to put this delta after this, inside of the brackets of this process. And what will happen if you put something inside of not inside, I mean downside of this process? The things you will write downside of this process with a space in here, tab space in here, will be applied every seconds, I mean 16 times per second. In one word, if you want to say this, so the things will write downside of this process will be applied 60 times per second. 60 times, a lot times that is applying. I can't explain here why 16 times is perfect right here to applying in here these things, but let's not think about that. Let's think about what to do now. Now we can rotation degrees. It will set its rotation degree 6 times per second to 15. Oh, you can also write like this: function process, not process ready. And I'm explaining another thing here. I forgot to explain this, as you guys will be mainly beginners. I'm always explaining it. The number you will put on here will be applied to this thing, and if this thing applied to another number, the object will be rotated. Any number you can give, not only 15. Try with 45 and save it and run it. It will rotate 45 degrees. If you are familiar with mathematics, it will rotate it in. If you rotate this in 45 degrees, it will rotate to this side at 45 degrees. Don't even forget to try with minus numbers. Any number you like, you can give on here, and the thing will be rotated on that with this ready function. I have just explained about ready function. You would remember that, so I am not explaining twice. Now let's move to the function process. Yes. Let's just pause this thing in here. Now it will actually set these rotation degrees to the when we are running the game. You can see it's rotated in 15 degrees. The number will put any number. I request you put yourself any number in here. That will see actually rotate to this. Not only 1975 to any number did I give, but any number you know about in the world, try to put in here, even decimal numbers. It will work. Rotation degree is because rotation degree is like that, something like that thing. It should work. Anything you put on here, no problem will be happened. Then after that, if you want to make your game rotated like or stay rotating in a side like this, I'm explaining, don't worry about this. I am going to put here a number named 5, and if you stay increasing this number, it will be rotated to clockwise. You can see here, as I'm increasing this number, it is rotating clockwise. So if we can increase this rotation degrees number during runtime as increase number by 5. What will it do actually is it will apply increasing this number 5 60 times per second. It will rotate it many times. Let's test this. You can see it is rotating 6 times per second with this number of 5 in clockwise. But what if you give another number? You can give any number on here, even -5. It will actually that's more complex, not much complex, but I'll not talk about that in here. If you put -5 or any number, but you can put to test yourself. You can, the bigger number you will give here, the more speedily the object will rotate. You can see here it is rotating more speedily. Then but if you put minus here, what will happen? If we decrease this number like this, you can see it is rotating the other side of the clockwise side. So if we decrease this number, so it will rotate like out the other side of clockwise side. And if with before that I didn't explain about this. What will happen if you put, why is there a plus before this symbol? because we want to actually rotate, increase these rotation degrees to actually rotate something in Godot, to increase something in any variable number in Godot. This plus equals symbol is used. With this, the rotation degrees will be increased as 5 because of this plus equals symbol. Okay, so what if you put minus equals on here? If you put minus equals on here, what it will do is actually it will decrease this rotation degrees as number 5. If you run this now, you can see it is decreasing, as this is decreasing the rotation degrees, so it is rotating out the other side of the clockwise side, and the more bigger number you will put, it will rotate more speedily. You know now, because I saw you before what happens with plus equals. If we increase that, the speed is also increased. If we decrease that, the speed is decreased. So you would be clear with these things for now. So I am talking about this again, that is when you will put plus equals on here like this. It is to clear you guys again everything that I told this far. As this increases, it will rotate clockwise, and during runtime, if you rotate this thing, so that rotation degrees is increasing. That's why it is rotating clockwise. As you saw that when I increase that rotation degrees, it rotates. And then when you put minus equals on here like this, what will happen is it will get decreased, the rotation degree will get decreased, and it will rotate out other side of the clockwise side. You can now see here that with minus equals, rotation degrees is decreasing, and as the rotation degree decrease, you know what will happen. It will rotate other side of the clockwise side. You can see here. So that was the main thing. I would cover everything actually this long, but sometimes some beginners will want to rotate this with inputs, like if you press arrow keys or WSD keys, you want to rotate this thing to somewhere, and if you want this, you can get it. Okay, I want to say this, that rotation is this long to show you guys, but if you want extra thing, like you say you want to rotate this in with inputs, so stay watching this video. I am showing you about inputs. So first thing you will need to know is about input events. Some things says inside of this, here you can see up left side project, and go to project settings, and under this input map you can see there are several things actually, so we can't go through all these things, but you can see here the two things here are UI left and UI right, which we are going to work with on here. If you press left key, this UI left will return as true. If you press right key, UI right will be returned as true. And you can see I have extra things that you don't have, that is this A key. With this, if the A key is pressed, the UI left will be true, and if DK is pressed, the UI right will be true. It would be very complex for you if I don't show you. Not complex but hard to know if I don't show you how to add those buttons. So I'm showing you how to add those buttons. If you want to put an key for something that will return to true, move your mouse to that. I want to this UI left to add an extra button. Stay going to the right side and you will see a plus icon. With this plus icon you can add a key to return something as true. After that, press this key. These are extra button, the joy button, joy exists, and mouse button, but we can't discuss everything about those things. You can just press key, and this is all about keyboard key. If you press A, it will write here A, and it will say you to confirm to know that if you want this key to be pressed and this return this string to be true if this is pressed. So what this thing is saying, okay, this is an extra thing, you will not need this, and press OK. Now if the A button is pressed, this UI left will be true. Remember this, if left or A key is pressed, so UI left will be true. And on here, after that we want to add D key to when it is pressed to return this thing to true. Go to the right side of the UI right and add a key. Confirm, please confirm, press a key. It is actually saying the same thing to something put here to when this button is pressed to return UI right as true. You can see here UI right and UI D. If they not UI right or D, right arrow key, and if the right arrow key or D key is pressed, UI left will be returned as true. Okay, so everything is set properly. Now we are good to go with input settings. Now press if I'm explaining it, wait for a second. Input is, if input is action pressed, so I mean input is action pressed, wait, I'm explaining, and just write the same thing as you write before. Rotation degrees on here, rotation degrees minus equals 1. Why I put it minus here? Wait, before that let's explain this thing. What will happen with this thing? Under here, if with this you are saying that if, and this what thing is pressed, this thing is pressed. If this thing is pressed, why with which Godot will know pressed thing. With this input is action pressed, Godot will know you want to make an input and for this thing, so you will be apply this thing, the right downside, the right hand things on downside of input is action press UI left. So if this left arrow key is pressed, so it will rotate the decrease the rotation degrees as -1, not -1, let's put -5 here. Okay, I want to explain this again because I don't think I make you clear, I make any beginner clear yet. what is this doing? This is checking if this is true, so to apply this thing, it will let apply downside right hand things on here to check apply these things when this thing is true. What it will do again, this will apply these things if this thing is true, and when this thing is true, and how it will make this thing true. You saw if we press A or left arrow key on the just a minute ago, that this thing will be true when when left arrow key or A key is pressed. Okay, and what is this input and is action press thing? Input is initializing, and every input it has like keyboard or mouse, and then with this dot you are initializing something of this thing, and this thing checks for any key that any key not any key actually these things, if this thing is pressed with input is action pressed, actually it is checking this thing if this is true or not true. And if left arrow key is pressed, so ul left will be true, and this is action press, I mean the whole input is action press will say to input that this thing is true, this thing is true, and Godot, you are good to go with applying these things. And then with if it applies these things right and downside of here with a little space in here. I'm not sure if you are fully clear with this, but that time is too much going, I think, and half hour gone with this, so I don't want to explain too much. As far as I can explain, I explained, and the same thing we'll do on here. Let's not do this way, let's copy this and paste it on here, and we want to check if the right arrow key is pressed, so it should increase this number. So you saw before, if this rotation degrees is increased, so it will rotate right side, and if rotation degrees is this if rotation degrees is increased, it will rotate right side. If rotation degrees is decreased, so it will rotate to left side, I mean clockwise side, other side of the clockwise side, and this is rotate the side clockwise side, because it is increasing and it is decreasing. As this is increasing, it will rotate clockwise, and as this is decreasing, other side of the clockwise side it will rotate. And so I don't think I need to talk about this more. Let's see if I haven't uncovered something. I think even if I explain this same thing here, I'm explaining this again because of this. If it is when this is getting true, this will be applied to the game object, and when this will be true, this will be true when the right arrow or the if the right arrow key is pressed or the D key is pressed, this will say that I'm true, and input is action pressed will say that hey, this guy is true, and let's say if that we are good to go with applying the things right in downside. And when this thing tells if that this thing is true, So what it will do is it will start applying this rotation degrees in I mean yes, this line, applying this line. And when it applies this line, so what will happen is this will increase 60 times per second with because of this function process. And rotation degrees, as this is increased, so the what happened, this will rotate clockwise. This same thing is same, this is same with the UI left. I'm explaining too much because many of you guys will be beginners and not understand these things, so I'm taking time to explain these things, and I think it's taking too much time. So let's not talk, let's do this. And if you press D or right arrow key, it will rotate clockwise. Let's see. Yes. And if you press left arrow key or A, so it will rotate other side of the clockwise side. So let's see. Yes, it is. So that was the things to everything, that was everything to show you guys about. And if you just want to set, you would know that you don't need to put this plus or minus equals symbols on here. Okay, let's show that thing to you guys, as you guys will be beginner and don't know how to do these things, such as let's put something like minus 45 and 45 on here. What it will do when the left arrow key is pressed or the A key is pressed, it will set rotation degrees to minus 45 degrees. And you know, when it will be minus 45 degrees, it is the other side of the clockwise side rotate on there. And if you know this, when because of this line, when this right arrow key or D key is pressed, so UI right will be true, and when that will be true, it will, if we'll let apply this right hand thing downside on here, will what it will do when apply this thing, it will actually set rotation degrees to 45 degrees. When what will happen if it sets rotation degrees to 45 degrees, what it will do is, you can see, if I press now enter, it rotated the object to the clockwise side. And don't forget to save your project if there is load shedding problems in your country. And now press play scene. You can see, it is actually rotated. First let's make the game object rotated 0 degree when started. Okay, now we are good to see the things. If you press left key or arrow key, left arrow key or A key, so it will rotate it to this side, this out clockwise side. And if right arrow key is pressed or D key is pressed, you can see it rotates this side. So that was all you need to know about rotating and game object in Godot in 2D mode. If you need more tutorial videos, check out my channel. There you will find many tutorials about game development with Godot and Game Maker Studio. Of course, I'll have more videos later. My next video will be about sizing an object. That's not all. Some more important things like destroying, creating objects, runtime, FPS, TPS, plus many videos I will upload next. Also, Unity, Blender, Adobe Illustrator, etc. tutorials will also be uploaded. in this channel. I currently have a game project making tutorial too. If you are interested with it, you can just check it out in this by finding the link in description. Also, if this video really helped you to know how to rotate an object, everything about rotating an object, you can like this video. You are also allowed to share this video if you are a beginner, so subscribing me can be better for you because I always upload videos for beginners explaining everything for him. This channel is for beginners who want to learn game development with Godot. You can also follow me on Facebook or Twitter. Soon I'll make a Facebook page or group to make following my channel easier. Check discussion section to know if I am having problems with uploading videos. If I am not uploading a video for a long time, the reason will be there. I will explain the reason there. This time I uploaded my video lately because I am currently working on making a game project. Its name is HSG2. And so thanks for watching this video this long. I hope you guys are all well. So bye.